cat is out the bag.
We in the building right now. It's just like when you hear it. Yo, I live vicariously through you.
Just say Mike.
I'm from DC.
Okay, this is a political city.
Man, we try to do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
Ryan Seacrest would like to be Anderson
Clark.
Cooper.
Everyone want to level up.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody
Like,
trying to level up.
Ryan Seacrest want to be
Levels
Dick Clark.
to
you know what I'm saying? And- right.
Dick Clark want to be Johnny Carson.
Want to be Dick Clark, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody want to be, you know what I'm saying, like the next level, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Damn,
But
when you broke it down like that, shit.
it's real.
That
So
was
when
the
you-
levels though.
So
like,
when you think about it like that, like, oh yeah, your local DJ, he that nigga hit, he the man hit, but then he go to Charlemagne City and he gotta wait in line like
Who?
everybody else to get his fucking book signed,
Who?
and you realize like, oh,
Mike
he a-
who?
he a regular nigga too.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they do want to get behind those bigger artists because they're hoping to reach, you know, an upper echelon of their career as well. And I understand that now. I respect that now. I respect everybody's grind now. So like, I don't feel entitled to anybody having to play my shit here. I don't feel entitled to anybody having to reach
that
down
is
and
the
help
perfect
me.
attitude.
I'm gonna go out and get it. Whether you give it, whether you want to help me or not, I'm gonna go get it. That is what I've
That's what I'm talking
developed.
about.
I think as a result of being independent, of having such hard time, of being like this close to a deal, of being this close to, you know what I'm saying, to that advance, which would have been a terrible idea because it's so long. But
Yeah, oh, man.
like, you know what I'm saying?
Going through certain
that's
disappointments
what
and
you
trials
learn
and
from being this
tribulations. Nah, I
close
get
to
you.
getting to it. Like, I remember sitting in meetings with Kevin Lyles, like being this close, like $1 million advances on the table, and then having people who were around me, you know, they wasn't getting what they wanted out of me or whatever the situation was, and fucking up deals. And then realizing, like, man, they thought they hurt me, but they did me a favor. Like because I would have owed the label so much
Oh, yeah,
money,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
an
yeah.
advance is not a
Slave
signing bonus.
for
You know
life.
what I'm saying? Like, those things are different, and a lot of artists are getting $5 and $10
Contract
million.
negotiations 101.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and because artists don't take the time to learn the business. I took the time to learn the business. So my business is
That's smart.
A1. So
Yeah, that's
when
smart.
I go and I get a placement on an album, if I go and write a song for an artist, like, no, whether or not, and there are situations, even then you gotta know your business, right? Because everybody like, oh, royalties. Well, what type of royalties are we talking about?
Right.
It's physical royalties, it's performance royalties, it's mechanical royalties. Which one are you getting?
One more
Are
time.
all of those in your contract?
Right.
So
I'll fuck with you.
real shit, like, and I just that's shit that I'm learning from other like producers, writers around me who are getting their just due just now.
I just seen something
So-
about De La Soul,
Right.
whoever they
Yeah,
was signed with.
Tommy
Jay-
Boy.
Button was
yeah,
talking
Tommy
about
Boy.
it.
Tommy
Yeah,
Boy.
took
Yep.
that, man.
Dirty.
And De La Soul,
Dirty. 30 years later
iconic.
still. Hey,
Yeah.
Iconic.
dirty.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, these icons in the game, they came in and they did, like, the music industry is like the mafia. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think because music is so fun and it's so expressive and it touches you so deeply, you forget how dirty the business
Forget
really
it's still a
is.
business.
You forget that any industry that goes back as far as the music industry does, that has ties into the things that the music industry does, a lot of it's built off dope
Some shady
money.
shit,
A
yeah.
lot of it's
A lot
built
of
off shady
shadiness.
shit.
It started early.
It
Like,
started so early. You know what I mean?
with muddy waters in them.
Like,
Hey.
imagine, like what company, right, goes back 100 years, 200 years? That's really what you're talking about when you're dealing with music. When you go back to Muddy Waters, when you go back, you know what I mean, to Empire Records, when you go back to Ella Fitzgerald, like when you go back to Sam Cooke,
Sam Cooke,
right?
yeah.
His ability, like his desire to have to start his own label and his own publishing firm because he was getting robbed on his own records. He writing records. Elvis and Pat Boone go steal
it, yeah.
and now you don't get a fucking dollar, and the label that made $100 million, and you're talking about labels that was making hundreds of $millions
Back then.
You're talking about a
which
billion fucking
translates
dollars.
to billions now, yeah.
Billions
yeah.
of dollars, and we
Yeah.
don't touch a fucking dollar of that because
And they
we don't
buying these
understand-
motherfuckers Cadillacs and
Yeah,
shit.
they doing the same thing now, buying you
Yeah,
chains.
man, yeah, fuck a
Buying you
chain.
cars, buying you a house. They gave you $1 million house when they stole $100 million from you.
Yeah,
You know
that-
what I mean? Like, that's what we dealing with. So if you don't understand like your part in music, like the different, and every day I'm learning, every day I'm growing, every day I realize, oh shit, I didn't know that. I learned about mechanical royalties while I was in Atlanta this past weekend.
I ain't say I never knew anything
you
about that. I was about to
because,
ask you about the trip to Atlanta.
Cooking
Atlanta
up.
was
I'm going to
you
Atlanta
cooking.
next weekend.
Nah, skate.
We got a gig in
I
Atlanta.
do.
saw you a man down there Cascade doing the
I was
thing.
at the Cascade
For real?
Yeah,
Niggas about to
DJ
make
said
road
DJ
bounce
said
too out
they
here.
gonna
Listen, I sat on the side, right? The reason I had all
you got
the
the heels?
heels was because I sat on the side, right, where all the real skaters was at for like 20 minutes
All right,
because I
I
was
text you the
scared.
info.
Like, I was like, man, I ain't about to go out. Listen, I seen ATL, the nigga
about to go out and embarrass
T.I.
myself.
said, don't fall. The nigga T.I. said, and listen, Cascade was popping. Like,
Oh,
he
yeah.
ain't tell me no lie.
Look, I saw you said, can I
And
apply?
it's Atlanta, so it's bad bitches everywhere. You see, these PG girls, they be thinking like, oh, they real pretty. But every bitch in Atlanta got ass. Everybody got ass. Mothers, grandmothers, daughters, everybody got ass.
Big booty Judy.
Big booty Judy's everywhere. I said, damn, like, every bitch ain't got ass. It's ridiculous. So I was scared. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared to go out there. I ain't want to fall.
So you ain't go out there?
I went out there.
Oh, all right. How you do?
I stumbled a couple times. But I never
You kept it going though.
I kept it going.
Man, you stumble, but you don't fall down. That's what I like.
You know what happened?
That's what I like.
So it was a guy dancing in front of my phone, and she was like that, right? He was accused, so he was like stepping and everything on the skates.
Was the
Like
nigga
he
you
was
put on the
great.
screen?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
saw,
He was great, and he was like, I was sitting down, I was talking. He was like, why you still sitting here? Like, why don't you get out there? So I was like, man, I ain't trying to fall. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm scared. So he was like, listen, you see all these skaters around here? They're all professionals. They all on teams. Half of these niggas done failed tonight. And they're professionals. Nobody expects you to go
I ain't
in
gonna lie to
perfect.
you.
Stand up and let's go. And
Damn.
I went out.
I ain't want to fall when I was a crystal skating rink back in the day. So I understand. I understand.
Crystal is a totally
What we
different
talking about.
vibe from
I didn't want to
Cascade.
fall. What? That's the big
People will
ring.
In what
push
way?
you out the
In what
way at
Killing it. I
Crystal.
was like, I don't want no
Crystal
smoke
is
in.
different.
Yeah,
At
that shit was
Cascade,
real.
like if people coming up behind you, right, and they know you in the way, they'll grab your hips so they know that you're there, and
Okay.
they'll move you to the side. At Crystal,
Oh, slap.
niggas
Yeah,
push you
slap,
out
that
the
shit was
way.
real. Hey, I'm going to the kiddies joint over there. Fuck what's going on? Yeah, I wouldn't play with
Damn.
Bitch, you know I can't skate. Like, what is you pushing me?
I wouldn't fuck with it.
I'll fly back to Atlanta and go to Cascade before I go to Crystal.
I wouldn't fuck
I ain't
with
going
it.
to Crystal.
I was like, skating is not my thing. We're not doing this one.
Nah. And people was like rollerblading at Cascade. And
Rollerblading?
To be fair, it was like 3 niggas. But still, like, they was getting down. It was beautiful, man.
Tony Hawk. That's J. Tony Hawk out
my
there.
life at Cascade. It was
That's
so
fun, that's
fun. And the
fun.
crazy thing was, I went by myself. Nobody wanted to go. Like, everybody was like, I ain't fucking with it.
Hey,
like,
that be the
ain't
move
kids,
though.
like-
Solo. Like solo moves
I
be
was
the
like, fuck y'all.
moves.
Listen, Cascade was 6 minutes from the Airbnb we was staying at.
Uh-huh.
They wanted to sit in the house. I said, all right, I'm gonna go. I went, right?
Why they were so dry?
Who you go with?
You know, niggas is addicts. They'd rather sit around, drink, and smoke than...
Shout out to the
The
lames,
wrong
man.
niggas. Next time you go and wish we getting lit.
Look, we going. Look, Future Band DC gonna
Fuck
be
is
in
going
Atlanta
on, man?
the 16th and the 17th.
Shout out that ass. I
Yeah.
heard that.
Hell
We're
yeah.
gonna be in Atlanta.
We gonna be in Atlanta
16th,
16th, 17th,
Go
man.
check it out.
Yeah.
But that's real, man. Like, I had the time of my life in Atlanta, and I learned a lot. I'm always surrounded by really, really knowledgeable people in Atlanta, and the vibe out there is different. I think that what I realized here, and we were having this conversation in
Like
Atlanta.
86.
It's a lot of haters in a sense of there are so many people, and it's wild because DJ Heat, she did like a podcast on this I think a week or 2 ago, and she was talking about all of the hardships that she had experienced in music, and I mean like she had the whole city crying. It is a hard industry to make it in, and when she was revealing like her stories and the different stories that I've heard from different industry people, even like Uncle Scooty and what he's doing with Diet Starts Monday. Scooty went through hell trying to build a brand from the ground up. And so when people go through these really, really tough experiences, they had to bump their head to get it right. No, they don't want to just hand you the knowledge.
Right.
Because
I
nobody
understand.
handed it to them.
You had to
Right,
put
you had to
some
earn it.
blood,
Yeah,
sweat, and
yeah.
tears into
Trial
it.
and
I get it.
tribulation.
I
Yeah.
understand.
And so, because I think so many people in the city, because we're so far removed from music in comparison to some of our other counterparts in other places, because they had to get it the hard way, they don't want to just give it to you. So now they charging you for it.
I understand.
Now you got to do X, Y, Z in order to get to this point where they'll be willing to give you the information. And I've been very blessed. Like DJ Heat, I've had conversations with her. Uncle Scooty gave me game like from the door. Like Uncle Scooty was the person that was just like, all right, you put out one project, don't you ever put out free music ever again. He told me something that was valuable. I carry it with me every single day in every industry that I walk in. He said, the value of your product is associated based on what you tell people. If you tell people that your product is not worth their money, they'll always feel that way.
Dang.
You gave them one free project, no problem. Don't give shit else for free. If you put out a project, if you put out merch, charge them for it. Because if you tell these niggas that your product is not worth their money, they won't pay you for it. You'll be 10 projects in, giving out 10 free projects, you'll still be on SoundCloud and won't have made a fucking dollar, and niggas will still be vibing to your shit.
That's
Don't do that.
crazy because we go through that with the band. Like as far as like and it's 8 of us now.
Right.
And you have so many individuals or like personalities and ways that we think we should move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
Which is always, go ahead.
the common ground is like, dog, we need to make this money first and foremost.
Right.
Where the
And don't
bag
get me
at?
wrong,
Like the
I
bag.
do see-
I gotta get a manager
I
so we
see
get it together.
Yeah.
some level
Focus
of
on the
value
business.
Yeah.
in doing some things for free. Because I will say this. I have had experiences with people, photographers, videographers, right, who charge you the same as everybody else, and then you get the end product and it's shit. So I do think that there is a level of professionalism that you need to have and exhibit with your product before you get to charging people. People been taking pictures for 5 days and now they want to charge you $50 for a shoot.
Now they
$200
motherfucking
for a
Calvin
shoot.
Klein.
No offense, but who the fuck
Who
are
you?
you?
Right. You ain't putting the work in yet, right?
Nobody even know
Talk
who
to
the
me.
fuck you are. You want $200 for the shoot? Like, I've paid people $200, $250 for a photo
Hey,
shoot
hey,
and get the pictures back,
hold on.
and I'm just like, nope.
Keith said, hell nah. You know
Hell nah
Keith,
what?
you know my man Keith? That's my man.
I don't know what.
Hell no. And that's the truth.
Hey,
It's a lot of-
Keith, what's up,
it's
man?
artists who've been rapping 2 days and they want $150 for a feature. Bitch, I wouldn't let you get on this for free. You talking about what the fuck on my face? That type of shit bothers me. So I do think that if you're great at it, you don't do it for free. I understand that. But also in doing some things for free, like there was a project, I'm not gonna get into it because we got paid our royalties and it was fine. But there was a project that got like 7 different release dates. It got pushed back a million times. The label didn't think that it was coming out, and he had us working for like a year and a half for free. I'm talking about every producer, every executive producer, every engineer. Like nobody got paid. And he gave us points, which is how we made our money. He gave us publishing, which is how we made our money. But he did not pay anybody up front, not a single producer.
What?
So it's niggas that are turning down other opportunities. Not me. Like I'm not fucking nobody, but it was guys on those projects that had huge opportunities, and they turning them down because they working on this and nobody got paid. So I do think that there is value in what you do as long as you're great at it. But I think that I have an issue. Especially being independent with people charging for things, and then you get the end product and it's like no shade to what you're doing, but you're not at a level where you can consistently charge it, and that's okay. Sometimes the building blocks become in building relationships, right? And being able to create relationships with people so that when you get to a point where you are great enough to charge, people know that you the real deal. People know that you A1 because they was in the trenches with you.
Yeah.
But you've been doing this for 2 days and you charging people, you know, $500 for a video and you don't know how to edit the motherfucker. Well, why are we here? I mean, I've had
That's
people,
funny you say
I've had
that.
niggas shoot videos for me and then tell me at the end I don't know how to edit. Bitch, that's the whole job.
Yeah, that's the
The editing is
fucking
that's
the
whole
most-
thing.
You gotta
It's
refund.
the whole thing.
You got your money back, right?
I ain't pay that nigga a free trip. I'm from Timber Hills. I don't do that. I don't play that. I don't play them games. We don't do
Hey,
that.
pass
We don't
that
do that at
belly,
Iverson
man.
Mall.
Pass that belly.
Snickerdoodle City. We don't do that shit.
I got you,
But
bro.
but that's real. Like
So look.
I do understand, like, you know, artists that or DJs or producers or videographers or whatever their craft is that have been in the trenches, that had to get it out the mud, that had to get it the hard way. They don't want to just give it to you. But there is value in knowing your time. There is value in building relationships and value in that above the dollar. And you know, I've seen the fruits of that. So
I have another question too. As a female artist, do you find any particular obstacles when you're trying to get into the industry or being in the industry or that separate from the men? Any particular?
most obvious question ever.
I know. I had to. I feel like I had to ask that one. Let's go.
The obvious answer is that 90% of the niggas that you run across want to fuck you, and so they'll tell you anything that they can to try to get to that point. And then when you say no,
Door closed, all that type of bullshit.
yeah, a lot of times, like, when you close the door on those type of encounters, like, it's a lot of Harvey Weinsteins out here.
Oh my God.
So, like, if you shut the door on the possibilities of things becoming more physical, then a lot of times they don't
Niggas
help
don't want to work
you.
with you, all that type
And
of shit.
It is, and
Yeah.
in the industry as a woman, all it takes is for a person who is well connected to say she's difficult to work with. That's all it takes.
Get that diva
It only takes
motherfucking type.
it only takes that one time, especially when you're not at that level yet. That's all it takes. And for me, I do feel like there was some rumors spread by niggas who couldn't get close enough, or as close as they wanted to be. And so I said, all right, I'm gonna go outside of this. So I started working in Atlanta. I started working in Memphis. I started working in Nashville. No nigga, and I mean no nigga, is gonna stop my progress. No nigga is gonna stop me from getting money. I was not raised like that. If I can't get it right here, I'm gonna go somewhere else and get it. And I think the thing as an artist that I had to learn that I'm really maybe just now getting is that you don't need contacts. You need customers.
You said you don't need what?
You don't need
Contacts. You don't need contacts. You need customers. Yeah, consumers.
Because if I got a million customers buying it the way I'm giving it to you, then me not having the contacts is less relevant.
Right.
There is going to be a point in your career where the contacts are necessary so that you can elevate your brand, so that you can elevate your product. But until you get to a point where your product is 100% solid and you got a million customers in your pocket, the rest of that shit don't even really matter for you. Until you get to a point where your customer base is where you need it to be, that needs to be your concern. But I think as artists, you get very caught up in wanting to have a deal and wanting to have the acclaim and wanting people to know who you are and wanting to step into a room where people know you, right? And your customers is not there. Nah, like, if you ever been around any hustler, like, nah, the customers determine the success of the product.
Yeah.
So if I can get
You listening over there, B?
a million then the contacts will have no choice but to deal with me. And that's what I learned and am learning. Like, that's really what I'm learning, is the value of going out and making sure that you get more customers. So now I'm worried about my customers. I'm trying to get more customers. I'm trying to get more people that I can write for. I'm trying to get more placements. I'm trying to expand the way that the dollar comes to me. Because if I can do that successfully, you ain't got no choice but to deal with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether or not you fuck with Drake, you have to go through him. Everybody knows that now. There is no question about the fact that he is one of the gatekeepers.
He's top dog in rap right now. It is what it is.
You don't have to like that nigga or fuck with
is.
his brand of music or fuck with his brand of how he delivers.
Whatever, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
matter. You're not getting nowhere without him. And if Drake say he don't fuck with you, it's gonna hurt your money.
Oh,
Point blank.
God,
So look,
yeah.
I heard earlier you was talking about you had a branch out and go to Atlanta and Memphis and Nashville. So what would you consider your fan base come from? Like,
I would say a lot of it is in the South, between
South?
Memphis and Nashville. Heavily male, surprisingly.
Surprise,
probably
yeah.
between like 21 and 34.
that's the demographic?
That's the demographic. So, but definitely mostly in the South. I mean, it's a, you know, I grew up here, so people are gonna know you. I've done shows here, people are gonna know you. You know what I mean? We sold out the Fillmore, people are gonna know you. But I would say as far as like the units that are moving, and really more than that, right? Because I feel like until you get to a Drake level, you gotta get a certain amount of streams to make anything off of that.
Yeah, that viewership
So,
gotta be high.
Right, it gotta be super duper high, right? And really none of these artists are making any money off of that. So I think where I'm
It's just the notoriety.
Right, it's really just notoriety.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have that. I don't have brand recognition yet. We'll get there. But for me, the biggest issue, the biggest concern, and the biggest thing that I'm working on is more customers. And it's a little bit easier to do that in the South. Because in the South, it's just about like
The
what's
chilling
the
circuit.
best product. Yeah, you gotta go back to the
About to hit the chilling circle, we doing it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm fine with that. Like, as long as we're building positive relationships, as long as we're moving in the same direction, and as long as you got like-minded people around you.
You'll be alright.
Nah, me, you need to come to this. Like,
Yeah.
maybe you should show up to this. Like, you need to meet these people. Like, you need to sit down with this person. You know, who do it for the love. Like, you can't lose. Because I think, like, big business understands that if you make money and I introduce you to that situation, then yeah, I could take a little piece off of it, right? So, like, it works for everybody. Everybody wins like that. I don't mind giving you, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I make
Everybody
$1
can
million, I can afford to give you 5,000.
Everyone can eat.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
that's
If you help me,
sounds like.
and that's how it's gonna go. If you help 10 artists get to $1 million, everybody give you 10,000. What you do? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you
That's
gotta
money
think
in
of,
the bank.
You gotta think of it like that. Like, and I feel like that's maybe something that artists complain about here is the camaraderie is lacking. But I honestly feel like we're moving out of that. I see
In
more
DC?
love, in DC in particular. I feel like we're moving into a place where it's more love than ever before. And so, you know, I'm
Yes and no. 'Cause I mean, being in.
How do you feel like there's not?
Because we still now and will currently stumbled upon like just some haters, to say the least, or just lack of a better word to describe the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think those individuals feel like there isn't enough room for that spectrum as far as like the bands are concerned in the city and stuff like that. But like,
You wanna say their names?
no, I ain't
now.
going. I would, but no, I would because
Don't worry about it.
No. Look.
I was fucking-
No. Listen. Because of the guy that I am, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people fuck with me, and I ain't. You know what I'm saying? If I put you out there, I'm gonna put you out there, and I'm gonna back my word up. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna say, oh, it was my bad. If you know where I'm at, I take pictures in front of my house, all that. So you know what I'm saying? You see me on the streets, I work for Metro, all that. So I'm out here, you know. So I ain't afraid to. But at the same time, like I understand this is a business, and the relationships I think mean more to me than just some squabble or what you think we can't do together or just succeed at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like. I don't know, man. I think everybody can make it. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody should support each other. My background in music is just way totally different than a lot of motherfuckers and just how I came into music. I play trombone. But I started out on piano and then
in 8th grade,
bassoon.
I'm gonna play the trombone.
Funny thing is, I had a conversation with him. I wanted to play the saxophone when I was young. My mom's made me play the trombone. I was so fucking mad. I was like, that ain't sexy. But it's cool though. I wanted to play the saxophone like
I'm
shit though.
interested in that story.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you start
with me
playing
or Mario?
Which
No,
one?
you
still play, nigga. Fuck you talking about, nigga.
No,
I switched the game up.
Listen, I'm gonna give y'all the short version. So my brother and I. My brother played viola. I played bassoon in the DC.
What the fuck is viola?
Oh,
What
look.
the fuck
Hey, Dion laughed this
Hey, what the fuck is viola?
What is a viola?
So it's in the string. It's in the string family. It's like a violin. You got the viola, the violin, the
Nigga,
cello,
give me a picture of that. Who got their
bass.
phone up? Who got their
The
phone? I need to
viola,
see the fucking
viola
viola
is like
is.
a
A
smaller
viola.
violin, or is it?
Bro, you got the
it's a
phone,
smaller
Dion.
violin.
Hey, cool with that joke.
But no.
I need to see what this is, man.
So when I was 6, I played
bullshit.
piano. When I stopped playing
checker.
piano. Fact check. Google me.
Fuck, I need to see what this. What is
Look,
it again?
So a viola.
Viola.
So when I got to Easton, long story short, I wanted to play trombone. I was already playing bassoon. I wanted to be in the marching band at Easton. I had a couple of homies and cousins and family members who were in the band at Easton, and Easton was booming. The marching band was booming. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do the DC youth orchestra and I'm gonna play trombone. So I excelled tremendously in playing the trombone because I already played bassoon. It's in the same timbre, same clef, same key. I just needed to learn how to actually physically play the horn. You know what I'm saying? Because I can read, I can do all of that. I played a little bit of piano.
You can read music too.
Yeah, I arrange all that. So
Young Music Theory over here. You see it?
So then after that, you know what I'm saying, going into college, Howard University, UDC, shout out to HU, shout out to UDC Jazz. Look at you. So like
I went to a white school. Fuck yeah.
oh man, see them PWIs, man. No. Like I had some homies who with the PW. Like I had some homies who with the UVA, Rutgers, VTech. Like them PWIs, like they know how to party. Like they know how to live. For real.
Dumb V.
You know?
Dumb V.
Hey, y'all funny as shit.
No, but like my cousin went to University of
Fuck, come on,
Michigan.
hood
When I
up
went to
some,
a
this
football
rapping they
game up
doing
that
right
joint, oh my God, this shit was crazy. It's way different.
I know.
Special.
Hey, yeah.
Until you go to a Division One.
Hey, a D1 football
When you
game
go
in
to a
college.
D1 and a team that be going to a bowl every
Oh
year,
my God.
you realize,
Listen.
we're just not that special.
Fuck the white shit. I mean, like, fuck, man, they party.
That's
They party.
We're not
But
special.
back to the music. So, you know what I'm saying? Going into college and then after college, like I started my own group called Musically Inclined. You know what I'm saying? With the horn section that we have in Future Band. And
fucking it up.
Fucking it up. Some shit happened. Actually, me and James, or James and I, was in a go-go band together sometime before Future Band, before he started Future
Time,
Band.
man.
Yeah.
I was working out all days. 14.
Yeah.
You go, man, you wasn't shit.
You want shit. Like, I mean, even back in 03.
Or you wasn't in one of the groups.
Yeah.
One of the lady games and shit.
Hey, look, they had big games. Survivor Honeys. Hold on, Shantae. What we got over?
I
What?
never forget. This chick hit me up.
Yes, you was. Yes, you was a Survivor Honey. So, are you shooting a video for Love Me?
I am shooting a video for Love Me.
Is it gonna take place here?
No, I was shooting.
Damn it, Jim.
Shooting in New York?
Shooting in New York.
Oh, I'm trying to do a
You got a
cameo.
schedule when you shooting? You know yet?
We're shooting the last week in March.
Okay.
So y'all more than welcome to come out.
Okay.
I actually just got
Let me know, I'll be
I
there.
guess like co-star or whatever you want, like co-lead or.
You got your theme and everything
we
for
lined
it?
that up yesterday.
Oh,
We had like
shit.
this big, huge idea because there are lines that love me from Menace to Society, so we wanted
I
to
peeped
Hey.
that. On snaps on the Petro.
Yeah.
We wanted to do like this big
Kane.
like reenactment of like.
I already
Dope.
know.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like where you going already.
I like that idea, but I think like for real, you need a certain kind of money, certain kind of like you need a certain kind of
budget.
like, base.
But you know what that does though? That familiarizes people with like Boys in the Hood, and they're like, oh, I remember that, and then it's relatable, and then they can accept it a lot more.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna do like
with the visuals and
some little scenes from it, but to be able to do it the way that I wanted to do it was like $5,000. So like that was what the directors out there were telling us, and those were like the skinny prices.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like to be able to do it and to do it right, to
Do it
well,
right the way you want it, pull it
costly.
off.
So I came up with an idea that I thought was dope in New York, and so we're gonna shoot it out there. I'm finishing the actual
what borough?
project
You,
now.
Brooklyn,
We're gonna be in
Bronx?
Brooklyn.
Okay.
We're definitely gonna be in Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn.
BK.
Shout out
We're
to
finishing
Brooklyn.
the project now. The project has gotten a little complicated because some of the songs that was gonna go on and we sold them. So it's gotten a little complicated. You know what I mean? Like this is a business.
You gotta go ahead and rearrange some things.
Facts,
And
facts.
it's more profitable to sell some of that stuff than it is to be like, oh, I'm pressing.
Hold on to it.
And hold on and put it on the tape. So a couple of joints that were going on the project, they got sold in Atlanta this weekend. So
Was that the premise of the trip, or?
nah, it just happened like that.
Damn.
Like I was sitting down with this guy. So the whole story is, I met this guy Mark Berg through my previous manager. They were Chicago niggas. Mark just became like a good friend. He would answer any question that I had, and I needed a talk box, right? The talk box that's on the very first song on Road to Paradise was done by this guy named Brandon Black, who's a part of this production team called 3D Villains. 3D Villains executive produced and did a couple of tracks on St. Pablo, got a platinum plaque out of it. So Mark was basically like, yo, Brandon can do the talk box for you, I'm gonna put you in contact. He did a talk box and we stayed in contact. I flew out to Atlanta, we did a bunch of joints, and in doing that he was like talking me up to people, right? Your name is always in rooms before you get there. So we had he had talked me up to a couple of people in Atlanta. The last trip he sat me down with Jenkins, who was the guy who did the production on St. Pablo, right? So, and is working on Yandi with Ye right now. So they had an artist. They had an artist that they were working with, a young lady named Beige, who was dope. I sat down in the studio with her. I had heard a couple of joints. I thought she was crazy, and she had like crazy vocal range, a lot better than me. So I shot my shot because Black was like, yo, if you got some joints that you think 3D should hear, you should play it for him, right? No
Absolutely.
hate, no jealousy, because he produces and writes music too, play keys and everything. But he was just like, yo, I think if you could think you got some
shoot your
joints,
shot.
shoot your shot. So 3D, he sat down, he listened to a couple of joints, he thought they were dope. He was like, yo, send her a pack. So they sent me like 15 beats. In the process of that, I was like, oh, okay, he didn't think I sucked. Right? So I'm like, y'all got a couple of joints, I don't know if you're interested, but I think, she could use them. I played the joints for him, and he was like, what you selling them for? And that was the end of that. So,
Yeah. Oh, nah, that's what's up.
like,
I don't want to get too much in your bag. What you sell one for?
it don't matter.
I like that answer.
Respect.
It don't matter.
I sold a beat for $60 once. Off a sample, off of SOS.
Respect.
Off of
Listen,
Tell Me.
any profit that you make on anything is respectable.
But I think my man got so much more money
You
off
ain't
of
have
it.
to hurt nobody to do it. I respect it. But, me personally, like, if I'm sitting in rooms, because there was a time when I sat in these rooms and I didn't do, like, there were opportunities that I missed. There were people that I was around. There were circles that I was in. I remember the first time I went to Atlanta, the very first time I was working with.
What, a lack of knowledge or something?
A lack of knowledge, and also like just like general shyness, like when it
Got
came
you.
to
Being new to it
like
and everything.
feeling like I was overstepping.
Got you.
So,
I know you talking about.
the very first time I went to Atlanta, I was working with this producer named 6 Cents. He was a friend of Bryson Tiller's, had done a couple of joints on Trap Soul. He ended up doing Energy. He ended up doing Location by Khalid.
Energy.
And so, like, he was big. He was huge. He was the nicest guy. So humble. And he produced The Road to Paradise.
Oh, okay.
So
this is a nicely produced song, like an album. Like, yeah.
Because we was professional niggas.
Yeah.
So 6 Cents, like,
Couldn't even hate.
I'm telling you. So,
Hold on. I'm sorry. I tagged you in the joint. One day I got the music on shuffle in the car, and I forgot what song came on. I was like, man, what the fuck? I was like, and I had to look back and say, oh shit.
6 Cents.
Like,
6 Cents produced all but like 2 songs in the project.
Okay.
So he was incredible. He was the nicest guy, and a lot of that stuff he just was throwing oops. That's all he do. He a full-time producer. Right? You could do that when you making, you know what I'm saying, $1 million off
That's a
of
good
it.
look.
So he believed in it. He believed in the product, and so he would just throw me things. Every now and then he'll just be like, "Hey, me, what you think?" So, in connecting with 6 Cents, I went to Ludacris studio. That was my very first trip to Atlanta. I remember my brother Steve drove me up there. Like, Steve was such a good guy. He let me borrow his Altima while he was at work so I could get to the studio.
Damn, that's solid right
at work
there.
and let me drive his car, man. Shout out to Steve. I'll never forget it.
That's solid.
And
That's
so,
solid.
I'm in the studio with 2 producers who are Mike Willmade's team, right? Because that's really what producers are. Producers are like a circumference of different ideas, right? And it usually is like 4 or 5 guys minimum that create whoever that team is. Mike Will's team is however many guys it is. But one of the guys that was sitting in this room with me was one of Mike Will's producers. And I had songs that were already done by Sig. They were dope, right? I believed in them. But because I was scared, I'm listening to new beats instead, which was the first mistake. You got shit that's already done by these beats. You need to go into the studio, you need to perform it, you need to go crazy. I didn't do that. And then on top of that, like, the songs that I did do, they weren't my best work. You know what I mean? They was cool. They was alright. They let you know that wasn't trash. But they definitely weren't the ones that would put me in
it
position.
joints. Don't you feel like when you making cuts, you be like,
joints.
this is the one, like,
Facts.
this is the baby,
And
like.
so I had a couple of those. And instead of playing those for these producers that probably could have helped me get somewhere different, or that could have helped me get to the next
You went
level
for the
as a writer,
for sure bet.
I just was like, he played some beats and I was like, yo, let me just showcase that I can write this shit right here, right now. So,
Why'd you do
know,
that?
Exactly.
Why'd you do that?
Exactly.
Hey, what
So
you learn from that?
Exactly.
You learn from that.
You learn
You
from it.
learn.
And so I learned, like, nah, if you sitting in these rooms, you take advantage of the shit right
Yes,
now.
take
right
it up
here.
to 10.
You ain't gonna get another chance to do
go
it.
all
Oh
the way.
yeah, that's a
Keep
fact.
going.
When 3D sat in the room, I was like, oh, nah, I know these shits
Hey, turn
bang.
up.
So I played the shits that bang. So he was like, what you want for that? I was like,
Yeah.
I think you gotta have that approach in life about everything.
Yeah,
Take your
absolutely.
shot,
but I
go
didn't
for
know
it.
that. You know what I mean?
Go
Like,
for it.
I was young. I was real young. So I was like 20 at that time. So
Okay, got you. Hey,
I mean, I just didn't know
Maybe
no
you
better.
learn.
Real shit. You know what I mean? I didn't want to overstep. I didn't want to make it seem like, you know what I mean, like I was being like pressed or
Right.
Too demanding.
Yeah, too demanding.
Yeah.
And then I was a female. I really was out there. You know, it was just me and Steve. I ain't know. And
Right.
even though Steve was in the industry, and you would think that people who know about the music industry would tell you certain things, what you realize over time is that people don't really know. Like, you be thinking niggas know because they in certain kind of positions, and really, like, knowledge is something that you gotta seek out. You gotta study the game, you gotta study the situations that you were in, you gotta re-examine the missed opportunities to see where you missed it and how to fix it on next time. That was a mistake I would never make again, but it is a mistake that I made.
Yeah.
So, nah, this time around, I'm like, fuck that shit, I'm play all these bands, I'm play as many, I'm play him until he tell me he gotta leave. That was my plan. I said, I'm gonna play shit until he like, I gotta go. That's exactly. I had already paid for the studio session. I said, bitch, I already paid for it. Play that shit.
Money in
Play
the
that.
bank. I'm
Play
here.
that. Play that. And I kept playing joints enough to a point where he was like, yo, we might need to get on the team. So I said, man, like, these are people who can really help you.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully that
Can propel your career.
You know what I mean? Hopefully it'll turn into some prayers up. But, I mean, that's the situation. Like, when you find yourself in those situations, like, those are the ones where you gotta take full advantage. Because you might not ever get that. And real shit, like, I'm sitting down with Mike Will made his producers. I've never had that opportunity since then. I've had the blessing of sitting down with Sick. He was wonderful enough to produce this project for me. He put me in a couple of meetings. He did some things for me. But that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's something I always think about. So every room that I sit in now, like, nah, we gonna play
Take
this
your
shit
shot
until they
now.
tell me shut
Yeah,
up.
taking your shot.
Nah,
That's
until
where
they
you
tell me
gotta
shut
go.
up.
Snap.
And we gonna play the best joints I got and until he tell me shut up. And then once he tell me shut up, I'll go back to this regular studio session.
Nah, I feel like that's what you have to do.
Pay for it already. Want to hear sometimes? You know,
Hey man, shout out to the Wing Plug for blessing us with these delicious wings, man. We got Camille Sparrow in the building, just talking that love me.
Put my whole name.
I did the whole government. I'm sorry. I'm like that. Look, your whole name is in my phone. I got the whole government.
Yeah, he said your whole name the other day. I was like, who?
Nah, look, I'm just that type of guy. But shout out to the Wing Plug, man. Thank you for blessing the Uptown spot, aka We On DC. We On. I got my man O in the building. We got Tay in the background. We got my man Ed Love in the thing. We got me and Sparrow, man. We enjoying these wings, man. We got, hey, come through Uptown spot all day.